We're back at the 2015 World Indoor Lacrosse Championships on the Universal Sports Network, and we're about to have the opening face-off between the United States and the Iroquois Nationals. I'm joined by Randy Frazier. Randy, this is one of those games where Tony Resch, the U.S. coach, was saying the U.S. needs to kind of keep the Iroquois in check early, right?
Yeah, the Iroquois is going to come out, strong. Emotionally right now, this building is really backing them more than Team USA. When teams were introduced, and the loudest applause came for the Iroquois team.
So you've got Jeremy Thompson taking the opening draw against C.J. Costabile, and Thompson comes up with the ball, flips it back, and the Iroquois will go on offense first.
One of the keys to this game is going to be how the U.S. defense can handle the very potent offense of the Iroquois. These guys move the ball really well. They get the ball inside. It's a good start.
Fed in front. Jeff Schattler couldn't handle the pass. Comes up in the stick of Joel White. He gets it off to Costabile, and the U.S. will get its first look on offense. Kevin Buchanan with the ball, captain of Team USA. Feeds that down on the right-hand side. Now gets up to Marcus Holman, over to Garrett Thule. Thule dishes back, 10 on the shot clock. And that shot swallowed up in front. Buchanan takes that shot, gets a fresh shot clock, but the ball's going to come up in the stick of Briar Jonathan for the Iroquois.
What the teams are going to look to do offensively is they're going to look to work pick and roll plays with kind of two men working, one on ball, one off ball, setting a pick, looking to roll to the inside to the net.
And Randy Stotts takes that shot. Stopped by Jake Henhawk, but we have a penalty. So we had a slash call on C.J. Costabile. I'm sorry, on Joe Smith, number 16 for the United States, and we'll get the first look at the Iroquois national man-up.
So what we'll see here is a 5-on-4. Team Iroquois will have 5 offensive players against Team USA with 4. The defense is set up in a zone. They'll play a box zone.
The ball stays on the right-hand side. The team is heavy right with 3 righties, 2 lefties. Craig Point has it. Johnny Powlis on the left-hand side. Stotts. Saved by Henhawk on that shot by Lyle Thompson. Ball comes up in the stick of Brett Manny. He gets it off to Brian McGill.
It was a nice ground ball by Brett Manny. It's important that Team USA limits the multiple shots on the possession. So after the Iroquois got a shot on goal there, it was good for the defense to pick up the loose ball, and now Team USA has moved into a penalty kill situation where they're going to go 4 attackers versus 5 defensemen and try to burn as much time off the clock.
And right now the 30-second shot clock not functioning, so we're getting an announcement on it as opposed to seeing it. And Team USA sort of throws that one away, basically trying to kill out the clock. Sid Smith with a nice pickup gets it over to Brett Bucktooth. And Jeremy Thompson shoots it wide. Ball comes up in the stick of Joel White.
Yeah, Jeremy saw a little light there towards the net, and he may have pushed it a little bit early. He could have got his teammates on the floor and worked that 5-on-4 a little bit more there.
So the U.S. still down, playing 4-on-5 offense, working as much to kill clock as anything else. Garrett Thule going 1-on-1 with Wenster Green.
Nice roll to the inside by Garrett there. Got a decent shot on goal.
Mike Thompson gets his first save of the game. And the Iroquois get one more possession while they are on man up.
So here they're set up in a house set. They'll move the ball quickly. They'll probably cut someone inside. Try to get a shot from in tight.
Powlis with the ball, and he scores. Johnny Powlis breaks the seal on this one. Nice little inside move, shoots it over Jake Henhawk's right shoulder. And our score is Iroquois Nationals 1, USA nothing.
So what you'll see here is kind of a classic box lacrosse power play. The crease guy, the low guy, came up and set a pick on the high defender, and the high offensive player set a pick on the low defender, opening up the alley. Lyle was just able to split those guys and get right inside. Yeah, you'll be able to see the double picks here happen.
So on the ensuing draw, Jeff Ratcliffe comes up with the ball.
There's the pick low, there's the pick high, opens the alley. He goes short side high for the goal.
So as a power play goal, the United States now at even strength.
In the game of box lacrosse, the specialty teams, the power play and the man short teams, real important part of the game. That, you know, teams usually that you're looking to score more than 50% of your power plays, and in turn you're looking to penalty kill somewhere underneath that 50% mark.
Mike Thompson makes a save. We had a momentary unsettled situation as one of the Iroquois players had a broken stick, and you have to drop your stick when it breaks and leave the field. Playing with a broken stick is a penalty. Speaking of fouls, there was an offensive foul on Roger Weiss.
So what we had there was an interference or a moving pick where the offensive player too aggressive on almost threw a body block on the player, where you're not allowed to be moving when you set a pick like that.
Off to the right-hand side for the U.S. Joe Resiteritz gets that down. There's a little dive shot, winds up in the crease is Marcus Holman, and so the Iroquois go back on offense. Adam Bomberry with the ball. Now Lyle Thompson with it.
This is where the American defense needs to play together, help each other and slide, play team defense, and also stay out of the box and not foul.
Lyle Thompson's shot goes wide.
It's a little transition
That's scooped
play.
up and gets to C.J. Costabile. He shoots that wide.
Great ground ball by C.J. after taking that shot on net.
And they actually gave them credit for a shot on net and reset the shot clock. So Mike Thompson obviously got a piece on it.
And Joe Walters is looking for someone to set a pick for him. He forces a feed across.
Blaze Reardon gets that shot off. And it comes up in the stick of Josh Becker for the Iroquois. Now, Randy, we have this issue with the shot clock where the shot clock's not functioning. And they are announcing when there's 10 seconds left. Does that change things at all for the offense in terms of, do you think that it's looked to me a little bit like maybe they're rushing?
Yeah, it definitely makes it harder not to have that shot clock, and you tend to, you know, anticipate the shot clock ending before it does.
Randy Stotts came up with that shot, and it was knocked down by Joe Smith, scooped up by the United States.
Another good set for the defense there for Team USA. This is where the offense needs to get some good motion going, work together. So far, they've really been forcing the ball. Here comes a pick.
Off on the right-hand side. Shot wide. Loose ball scooped up by Joe Walters. Walters working the two-man game. Looking for Buchanan and Thule. And there's your shot clock violation. So maybe the other extreme, we went from rushing it to abusing it, not knowing exactly how much time they had.
That was good defense by Team Iroquois there. Really kept keeping USA to the outside. They've done a good job all game so far, keeping USA to the outside, not allowing any high percentage shots.
While Miles Thompson with that goal, a nice little roll, and he makes it 2-0 in favor of the Iroquois.
Yeah, real pretty one-on-one move there by Miles. We'll see on the replay. Gets his defender kind of thinking he's going to go inside, rolls to the outside, and then throws a twister shot to the short side. A high degree of difficulty on that shot, being able to release the ball with your hands crossed over like that.
And although Miles, not a big guy, basically knocked Joel White pretty much off balance, and that gave him a good lane to the cage. Scooped up this time by Joel White. Joel White, who played his college ball here in Syracuse.
Yeah, Joel is one of the leaders on the team. He's really efficient on the ground balls and in his transition play. He's already shown us that a little bit tonight.
So, the USA goes on the attack, now trailing 2-0.
There's a nice pick.
Marcus Holman's feed a little too hot for Jeff Ratcliffe. And there's another shot clock violation, and it feels short. The U.S. is looking as if there was a question, and now we're also going to have match penalties. Ratcliffe was going at it with Sid Smith.
Yeah, so we'll have matching minor penalties here. Often what happens is players get tied up. There's no fighting in international box lacrosse, so you're not going to see anyone dropping the gloves, but you will see these little skirmishes break out, and often to keep control, the referees will send both players off with minors. So we're going to open up some space on the floor here. So now it's 4v4.
Does that favor one team or the other? I mean, is that one of those things where as you look at the makeup of these two rosters, you would think in a 4-on-4 situation, perhaps with the Thompson brothers and their quickness or something along those lines?
Well, it definitely favors the offense. So the Iroquois being kind of a more offensively talented group, I would expect this to be definitely an advantage of Team Iroquois.
And we have an official's timeout on the floor.
You know, that being said, USA has to kind of control their tempers and stay out of these situations where they'll go 4-on-4.
So while they take a break, we're going to take one too. You're watching the 2015 World Indoor Lacrosse Championships on the Universal Sports Network. We're back at the On-Center War Memorial Arena in Syracuse, New York. Chuck Jaffe with Randy Frazier. We do have match penalties, but they are 5-on-5 on the floor, with the Iroquois Nationals leading 2-0 and on the offense. And Randy, we talked about how Tony Resch was hoping U.S. could at least keep the Iroquois from getting off to a slow start. How important is it that this not get beyond 2 or 3 here? And there's a shot off the pipe.
Yeah, I mean, it's really important that USA stays within striking distance here, and you know, they can't get too far behind. You know, they have to keep this game as a low-scoring game if they're going to have a chance to win it. So they really want to keep the goals down to, you know, basically under 10 for a game. So they're really at their limit for this quarter.
Jake Henhawk with a nice save. Ball comes up in the stick of Chris O'Doherty. And the USA goes back on offense. Kevin Buchanan with the ball. A lot of action down low. Blaze Reardon involved. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Joe Walters with the ball. Feeds that across. Joe Resiteritz can't handle it. And Mike Thompson scoops it up. Thompson feeds that ahead. Brandon Goodwin with the ball. He pulls the ball out now, slows things down. Oh, great little interception there. And having broken up the play, Joel White cashes that in and gets the ball for the United States. And he's stripped by Lyle Thompson. Thompson feeds that ahead. Brother Miles can't get it, and the U.S. gets the ball. Jeff Reynolds takes a hard hit there from Briar Jonathan.
Nice play by the Iroquois there to strip that ball in the midfield and get themselves back onto the 5-on-5 on offense.
Randy Stotts with the ball, feeds it across. Johnny Paulus. And Miles Thompson's shot is swallowed up by Henhawk.
Team USA is happy to give up that shot there. It was from the outside. Goalie had a good look at it. He's going to make that save most of the time. I've yet to see USA really get the ball inside. I know that's something they want to do tonight.
And still working on the outside. Resetaritz with it, shoots that one. Piece of it for Thompson. Scooped up by Josh Becker. Becker gets that one ahead. Tyler Garrison with the ball.
If USA has one advantage in this game, it's going to be team speed and their ability to get up and down the floor quickly. So they're going to need to score some goals in transition and in turn not give up any transition goals to.
And we have a delayed penalty being called.
So what you see here is a 6-on-5. The goalie is pulled. So again, we'll have that zone situation on defense.
And the 30-second shot clock expires. Now the match penalties to Ratcliffe and Smith, Jeff Ratcliffe from the United States, Sid Smith from the Iroquois, have just ended. However, you've got C.J. Costabile heading to the box for the United States. Now, Randy, the last man-down situation, the U.S. was playing a straight box. How much do you rotate between a box and a diamond and things along those lines? How much do you do the same thing every time out?
Well, I would expect to see some diamond mixed in. The diamond is really effective against outside shooters and less effective against teams that really move the ball well. So the thing about the Iroquois team is they do move the ball extremely well, and if you have to give up something, you're probably more apt to give up the outside shot than the cross crease pass that sometimes that diamond will give up.
An over and back violation on the Iroquois.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Team USA stick in the box for the duration of this game.
Joe Walters with the ball. Now the shot clocks have been standing at 30. They're not even showing any number at this point. That shot from Marcus Holman swallowed up by Mike Thompson. Thompson gives that up to Jeremy Thompson.
That might have been the best look that USA had at the goal all game. It was a good 8-yard shot from the center of the goal, good angle. Just was too much into the goaltender's body. So these goaltenders are really big. You need to really pick corners and have your shots on the pipes if you're gonna get it past them.
Miles Thompson fanned on what looked to be almost an open net. And there's a goal from Jeff Shatler. He finishes that feed from Craig Point, and he makes the score 3-0 in favor of the Haudenosaunee.
Shatler has a real tricky release on his stick. He plays with a big hook in his stick. What he did there was pump faked high, opening up the 5-hole in the goalie, and he was able to kind of ricochet it off the goalie's shin pads and in.
You see Henhawk reaching behind him, trying to get it a little too late. Jeremy Thompson controls the draw, but the ball comes up in the stick of Donnie Moss. And now Greg Downing comes out with the loose ball. So 2 goals for the U.S. given up in man-down situations. As you pointed out, they've got to stay out of the box at this point.
Yeah, you know, Team Iroquois.
And there's a goal. An outside shot. Trickles through Angus Goodleaf.
You know, it's always nice to break the ice, get that first goal of the game. It kind of relaxes everybody a little bit. And it's just a little unsettled, a little up pick, a screen shot down low.
And what you had there as well is you had the Iroquois had started Mike Thompson in the cage and made a quick change. I believe that was the first shot we'd seen from Angus Goodleaf.
Yeah, that's a curious change early in the contest with still a shutout on the board. I'm not really sure why the coach decided to make that change.
So the Iroquois go back on offense. 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the first period. Fed in front. Miles Thompson can't handle it. Jake Henhawk comes up with the loose ball. Has 4 seconds to get it out of there and gives it over to
You may have noticed at home just the efficiency of the Team Iroquois' passing game.
That shot wide from Joe Walters. Fed in front. Joe Resetaritz, who had scored that last goal, missed the feed down low. The Iroquois come up with it.
Yeah, it was an example there, just some sloppy passing by Team USA. Nice knockdown of Greg Downing. A little bit of a transition look, but Team Iroquois got back on defense.
But a big knockdown from the standpoint of it kind of, with not much time left in the first quarter, gives the U.S. a little bit of a time advantage. They might be able to get one extra possession as they try to get a little closer. Resetaritz with the ball. And grabbed by Angus Goodleaf.
Nice play by Angus there to anticipate that pass, get his stick up, and pick that ball off. You don't see that very often with a goaltender will pick off a pass.
1 minute remaining in the period. Schattler with the ball. And there's a goal from Miles Thompson off a cross-field feed from Jeff Schattler. And just like that, the lead is back to 3. The Iroquois 4, the United States 1.
Again, the efficiency of the passing game, was just able to move the ball from side to side. The feed is right on the player's stick. He's able to quick release it. The goalie's got no chance of recovering on that, getting from pipe to pipe.
Jeff Reynolds wins that draw, gets it over to Donnie Moss, and the U.S. will go on the attack. 45 seconds remaining in the first period. Joe Walters shoots that. It's lodged in the pads.
It may have seemed like a quick shot there, but what he was trying to do is to avoid Team Iroquois being able to pull their goalie and take the last shot of the quarter. So now it'll be interesting to see what Team USA does here. If they pull their goalie and go for the 6-on-5 play, yes.
And they do.
The goalie's heading to the bench.
Henhock goes to the bench. 20 seconds remaining in the period.
USA will bring on 6 attackers versus 5 for Team Iroquois. You'll see a zone.
Walters
some type
checks
of set
the clock.
play. There they go into their rotation.
That one from Resetaritz on the outside misses, and we come to the end of the first period. Your score at the On-Center War Memorial is the Iroquois Nationals 4, the United States 1. You're watching the 2015 World Indoor Lacrosse Championships on the Universal Sports Network. And we're back at the On-Center War Memorial for the start of the second period. It's the Iroquois National 4, the USA 1. Joel White scoops up that loose ball.
Well, there's one stat that USA is dominating. It's definitely the face-offs.
So it's been interesting. You say they're dominating the face. They've been coming up with the ball. Jeremy Thompson's been sort of winning the draw, but he hasn't been winning the ball. Right? That's sort of been my sense, is that Thompson's been getting the best of Reynolds, but hasn't been.
On that last one, but I mean, USA is getting all over the loose ball and coming up with it. So,
that's
bottom line is whoever comes up with the ball wins the face-off. So whether it be that the wings on the USA are supporting better, so far they're successful on that face-off.
That's part of the speed advantage you talked about.
Yeah, and that's one thing, in general, to get to the loose balls, the more athletic, faster team tends to dominate that stat.
Wenster Green in the penalty box for the Iroquois.
Really important here for USA to get some quality shots on goal. Their specialty teams got Joe Walters running the point. It's a lefty-strong group, so there's 3 lefties, 2 righties.
Walters misses that one. Comes out to Resiteritz. Green in the box, serving a too many men on the field penalty. And that one scored by Resiteritz. Resiteritz finishes the feed and gets his second of the night to close the gap to 4-2.
Nothing tricky there. Resiteritz just maybe looked to the short side, and Angus kind of got out of position, and he buried it on the far side, ricocheted off his gloved hand.
So you have Resiteritz scores his second goal of the game. Now 4-2. We go back to the draw between Reynolds and Jeremy Thompson. Not going to be a speed battle here as the ball is tied up in the center. A little pushing going on between Briar Jonathan and Joel White.
Face-off guys are really tied up. They're both trying to clamp the ball.
And they give the ball to the Iroquois.
Good
Brett Manny
there.
Takes it away from Miles Thompson.
Loose ball clean and gets some transition. They got a breaker. Oh.
Jeff Reynolds sails that pass. Joe Walters settles things down for the U.S.
So one thing that happened to Reynolds there, after mashing his stick on that face-off, he gets the ball in his stick and he's got to try to throw an accurate pass, and it threw his pass off.
Kevin Buchanan shoots that one.
Get another outside shot.
And Marcus Holman can't corral the rebound. Comes up to the Iroquois, 2-on-1. And there's a goal. It's Adam Bomberry on the transition. Looked away his teammate and then stuck it over Jake Henhock's shoulder.
Really nice finish there. For you younger players at home who are always practicing how hard they shoot the ball, this one it's all about accuracy, and maybe a little tricky. He looks it off and just floats the ball over the goalie's shoulder. Not a lot of speed on that shot. It's more of a deceptive shot.
And just little mistakes plaguing the U.S. You had Marcus Holman just unable to come up with that loose ball in just the wrong place and time. Greg Downing has the ball right now for the U.S. He'll now head to the bench.
And Greg's more of a defensive player, so he's going to give the ball up and get it to more of his offensive players. This is where the ball needs to move from side to side.
Resiteritz shoots that one directly into Angus Goodleaf's chest.
Transition.
Brett Manny broke up that long pass to Craig Point. Point works a little hidden ball trick there.
Brett Manny's come to play tonight. He's made a couple of good plays early in the game. Real physical inside. You'll see these defenders, they deliver heavy cross checks. Cross checking is legal in box lacrosse. So you'll see, and the coaches will always be preaching to their players to use their cross check, play body position.
Joel White takes sort of an errant bounce pass. Now he makes a bounce pass to Manny. And Holman will slow things down while the U.S. gets the rest of the attack on, trailing 5-2, just under 12 minutes remaining in the half. Joe Walters takes that shot. Goodleaf swallows it up. It's in his pads. It'll be Iroquois ball. So Johnny Powis gets that ball down low. Shot high. Palace can't get it cleanly. Chris O'Doherty comes up with it.
Oh, nice stick check there
Palace
by Johnny
gets it back.
Palace. One-handed wrap check. Strips the defender of the ball, gets a reset of the shot clock.
So fresh 30. Palace now feeds it in front. Great save there by Jake Henhock on Roger Weiss.
That was a great example of a pick and roll play. The picker rolls inside, he's fed the ball inside, gets a shot right on the doorstep. You know, that's the kind of play that USA wants to try to do.
Holman gets the ball over on the left side to Buchanan.
6-on-5 situation here for Team USA.
Walter's shot hits off of Goodleaf, and we'll have a stoppage in play. So we have an Iroquois player going to the penalty box. It's Briar Jonathan. So we get the U.S. with its second man-up opportunity of this period.
Yeah, another good opportunity to get kind of within striking range. I mean, 3 goals is not too bad. It'd be nice to get some momentum here and start to get their power play moving the ball a little bit and get a high percentage shot and a goal. Again, it's the same group. Joe Walters at the point. Lefty strong group.
They're actually putting 2 players in the box for the Haudenosaunee.
So what you'll see here is 5-on-3, that extra 5th player doesn't create a great advantage for the offense. It almost gets in the way and jams it up. So USA will go 4 versus 3 and have a safety man hanging at the top of the floor, top of the O zone, looking for any errant shots or to stop any fast breaks.
That one shot hits off of Goodleaf, stays with the U.S. Fresh 30-second shot clock. Shot from Buchanan. Recitaret, the goal scorer, meets that one wide. Walters gets the rebound. Buchanan shot swallowed up by Goodleaf. And the Iroquois will bring the ball forward, playing 2 men down, and this is basically a game of keep away.
Yeah, they'll just look to burn the 30, and they may drive towards the goal late in the shot clock, hoping to get a reset or draw a penalty.
Behind the back pass.
So you don't want to.
Schattler has a tough time grabbing it.
You don't want to reach there with your stick and draw a penalty.
And Miles Thompson battling Brett Manny for the ball. There's the end of the 30-second shot clock. And the USA comes back on attack.
So as the offense sets up here, your strategy on offense in this situation is you want to draw, pass, draw another defender, and then skip it across. So let's see if they can get the 2 draws and then skip the ball to the open man.
And they tried to skip there, got knocked down. Ten seconds on the shot clock. Recitaret. That one stopped by Goodleaf. Joe Walters gets the ball, fresh 30.
They should settle it.
And great sliding save by Goodleaf to rob Recitaret. And Jeremy Thompson has the ball.
Really nice play there by Sid Smith, who picked the ball up. He was on the ground, on his back. The ball floated in the air. He was able to pick it up and dish it off to his teammates from his back.
And the 2 players are out of the box. Webster Green plays safety valve, gets the ball, and then dishes it back.
A big emotional lift there for Team Iroquois. Anytime you can burn a two-man penalty, it's going to lift your entire team.
Meanwhile, how much does that upset Team USA, especially with Team USA now going to the ball?
Yeah, so here you'll see the cross crease pass, and he makes a save off this inside of his leg. A really good job there by the goalie, getting from pipe to pipe. You want to see that shooter not shoot it to the center of the goal, or if you can pump it into the short side, you probably have a better chance of converting that.
So we're back to live action with the Iroquois having a man advantage. Ball hits the post, that shot by Stotts. You have Joe Smith in the penalty box for the second time tonight. That one, great play by Joel White to stick his arm out.
Yeah,
Johnny,
defensively, when you're in this box, you want to try to get in those passing lanes and not allow the skip passes through.
Stott's shot is wide. Joel White grabs that up, gives it to Chris O'Doherty. 7 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in the period. Kevin Buchanan with the ball. The U.S. man down. From a momentum standpoint, being unable to score in a two-man advantage and giving one up on a man down would be a not quite a backbreaker this early in the game, but very disappointing. Buchanan lays out but can't put it home. Adam Bomberry picks up the loose ball.
Yeah, Chuck, without a doubt, and in turn, if they can stop hold them here and get back to the 5-on-5, you know, it can lift them up. So this is kind of a critical part of the game right now.
And there's a goal. Powless gets that ball down to Miles Thompson. And there's your trouble spot. The U.S. unable to convert on a two-man advantage.
It's
the
a skip
Iroquois
pass,
do.
so it goes from the shooter to the center, skip it through to the crease. Goalie's high on his arc. He's got no chance of that. So that low defender needs to be in that passing lane and not let that pass get through like that.
So your goal from Miles Thompson makes it 6-2 in favor of the Iroquois Nationals. 7 minutes and 6 seconds left in the period, in the half, as we go back to live action. Ball comes up in the stick of Jeff Shattler. Roger Weiss shoots that one. And Joel White comes up with the loose ball. And we have a penalty now against the Nationals. So the USA will go back on the man advantage. Right now they pulled their goalie to get 6-on-5.
They have a lot of time. Let's see if they can get the rotation going and get their set play. Here he goes. Oh, they just can't handle the ball.
10 seconds on the shot clock. They make the announcement because the shot clocks are not working at this point. So we have Jeff Shattler heading to the penalty box for the Iroquois Nationals. We will come back with the USA going on the man up. But right now your score is 6-2 in favor of the Iroquois Nationals. You're watching the 2015 World Indoor Lacrosse Championships on Universal Sports Network. Welcome back to War Memorial in Syracuse, and there's a goal. Joe Walters takes advantage of the man-up opportunity, finishes that feed, slides it past Angus Goodleaf, and the U.S. cuts the deficit back to 3, 6-3.
Wow, really good shot by Joe here. He's on the wrong side of the floor. It's no angle. He's able to clip that far corner. A high degree of difficulty on that shot. Joe's fired up. USA needed that goal kind of keep within range. 3-goal lead for Team Iroquois.
And Jeremy Thompson comes away with the loose ball. And there's an over and back violation because he was moving forward. He has to, once he's crossed the midfield. So the USA goes back, seeing if it can maybe get back to a 2-goal deficit. Kevin Buchanan with the ball. Holman feeds that in. Ratliff can't handle it, but
good
the ball
idea.
comes out in the stick.
Looking to get the ball inside onto that roller.
And Buchanan takes a shot, also sort of a little far on the left-handed side. That's a big play. Jeff Ratcliffe comes up with a loose ball. And they say that he chested the ball. So you had Joe Walters trying to kill the clock, or trying to avoid having the clock run out on him. Ratcliffe came up with the ball but couldn't keep it, so the Iroquois go on the attack.
That is a tough call by the official there, saying that he was withholding the ball from play, holding the ball and his stick up against his chest, not letting the ball out.
Brett Manny comes away with that loose ball. Costabile can't hold it. Now he's got it, slows things down. And the USA gets the attack on. Frank Resetaritz has 2 of the 3 goals for the USA.
There's Blaze Reardon with the ball. Blaze is a field goaltender, plays in a field game, he plays goalie, University of...
And there he scores. Blaze Reardon finishes that feed from Marcus Holman. And it's the guy who plays goalie in the field game,
Yes,
just like you were talking about.
He's known because he scored in the playoffs last year with the goalie stick. So he's got a really good skills, experienced box player, and he's able to throw kind of a twister shot up high, deceptive shot. The goalie couldn't get a read on it.
But that's the inside game that you've been looking for that you haven't really seen much of from the U.S.
Yeah, very true. It's like, Blaze has played a lot of box lacrosse in his years. He knows what to do with the ball and how to get himself inside. He's a big kid, strong guy, and he's able to get good position inside and catch the ball and finish it.
USA looked like it was trying to mount a fast break, but Walters slowed it down. Resetarit's shot is stopped by Goodleaf, and that's picked up by Josh Becker.
Good inside cut by Resetaritz there. The problem is he drops his stick, shoots it low to low, and it's an easy save for the goalie.
Schattler with the ball now. Weiss, 10-second count. Henhock comes up with that ball off the boards, gives it out to Costabile. Can't get it to the breaking Kevin Buchanan on the far side, so instead drops it off and lets the U.S. set its offense. And Goodleaf stops Resetaritz. Josh Becker brings the ball forward for the Iroquois.
The flow of the game right now really favors the Iroquois. They're playing a lot of 5-on-5. USA needs to find a way to get their defenders up the floor quickly when they get the ball and generate some shots in transition. You really want to turn this game into a track meet if at all possible.
And there's a goal from Schattler. One that you can sort of tell by Henhock's reaction. He kind of thinks he should have gotten that one just off his right leg.
Another great example of Schattler's deceptive shooting, where that ball really wasn't very hard at all. Just a kind of a funky release. He's able to snap the ball down low.
And kind of hid his stick from Henhock. And right now, Henhock's taking his gloves off and is being tended to by his teammates.
Now, Henhock has seen a lot of action so far in this game, and it's real taxing with all that equipment on, and it's hot in here, and he may be feeling the effects.
Well, while they are checking on Jake Henhock, we're going to take a timeout here with just over 3 minutes remaining in the half. Your score, the Iroquois 7, the U.S. 4. You're watching the 2015 World Indoor Lacrosse Championships on the Universal Sports Network. We're back in Syracuse, where your score is Iroquois 7, US 4. About 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Marcus Holman comes up with that draw.
There's a good example of what you said before, Chuck, where Thompson definitely won that clamp, and USA is able to battle and get the ball.
So during that break, well, we had an extra timeout called because there had been a timeout to look at Jake Henhock. And Henhock was going to have to leave the field. That shot from Buchanan goes wide. So the USA wound up calling a timeout to avoid having to remove Henhock from the field. You don't want to burn your timeouts if you have it. They come in handy, but that one was necessary, or a penalty was going to be called, or they were going to have to remove their goal.
Oh, good seal.
As the ball comes up in the stick of the U.S., explain what you mean by a good seal.
Well, what we had there was two Iroquois players going to seal their two defenders down low, and their teammate came over the top and had a good look at the goal and shot it over the top of the seal, and the two defenders as a screen and in a pretty good spot.
Joel White with the ball for the U.S.
So part of Iroquois strategy, when they have that bench close to the opposition's goal, they're going to work the seal off the bench and have the last man off the bench look to shoot over the top. Now, I played for Darius and Rich with the Bandits, and we used to do that. We used to do that regularly, so that's definitely a strategy that those guys are going to be pushing.
Resetarits gets the ball in close, can't finish it. Goodleaf with the save.
See one lefty off the bench, two lefty. They're going to seal down. No, they didn't look for it that time.
And a great trail play by O'Doherty. Strips Johnny Powless, who was about to tee it up. Ball comes back to the U.S. 1:07 remaining. U.S. with Reardon. Now down to Buchanan.
Ball's got to move.
I'm sorry, it was Joe Walters with the ball. Walters shoots it wide. 49 seconds left as the Iroquois take possession. So the U.S. will get a possession back if...
They'll probably shoot it quick here and go for the 2-for-1. They're going to shoot it right about now. Now they're going to take it all the way down.
Shatler shoots that one wide. And shot wide again by Roger Weiss. Craig Point comes up with it, gives it over to Weiss. And almost 30 seconds done. Ball still loose.
There's actually poor shot clock management there by the Iroquois to take those shots. And the USA wasted that timeout. Otherwise, they'd be getting a timeout right now and pulling their goalie.
And Jeff Reynolds can't keep it as Sid Smith comes in. A big hit.
Sid got the timeout.
So Marcus Holman comes in, tags Sid Smith. Marcus Holman's already back on the bench. If they show the replay here, Marcus Holman's already back on the bench while everybody else is deciding what they're going to do here and dancing around. So there's Sid Smith stripping Jeff Reynolds. Smith comes up with the ball, calls the timeout. Holman doesn't stop, basically ran through it, and now they're exchanging pleasantries and telling everybody don't do that.
Well, that's an example there of teammates sticking up for Sid Smith. He called that timeout, and the USA player came in and hit him a little bit late. And it's just it's something that happens in box lacrosse a lot. You stick up for your teammates. If somebody takes a liberty on your teammate, you're going to come in and protect them and not let them do that. So that's kind of what happened there. And generally in those scrums, you kind of pair off, and it's kind of a one-on-one battle. And like I said before, there's no fighting in this tournament, so you're going to see guys just kind of poke at each other and kind of posture, and it's really all for for naught.
And Holman, the guy who started it, who had the late hit, he got safely out of harm's way. Left Jeff Ratcliffe there to do
I'm not going to pick on Holman. Holman's a rookie, and he hasn't played a lot of box lacrosse in his life. He's a tough kid, and sometimes that lack of experience shows. And
he held up his...
I'm sure he's not afraid.
No, absolutely not. He held up his hand almost immediately as if to say, my bad, as if he was apologizing for it. And I think running off, hoping, hey, if I get out of here, we'll just kind of not have that kind of scrum. But temper's got the best. So we have 5 seconds remaining in the first half.
Yeah, so this looks like Coach Kilgore putting together. No, it's
Smith
not Coach
winds
Kilgore.
up in the box for his trouble.
The offensive coach is putting together a little play. The 5 seconds in lacrosse is a lot of time. Especially these guys, they can make a couple of passes and get a good look on net with this much time.
So you have Sid Smith in the box for the Nationals. You have Ratcliffe and you have Goodleaf, the goalie, pulled because with 5 seconds left, the ball's not heading back that way. So it's 6-on-5 with 5 seconds left in the first half. Iroquois with a 7-4 lead, looking to see if they can sneak one out before halftime.
You might see Seals down from the top players, the top shooter positions. Here's a Seal.
Lyle Thompson with the ball.
Yeah, they were setting double picks there. They were going to go from the center to the lefty shooter, back down to Bucktooth in the righty crease. Kind of showed their hand there. See if USA
and they reset.
Jumps it.
They reset now to 5 seconds.
USA defenders will try to jump over the top of these picks.
Powless with the ball. Gives
And
it
they
back to
switched it up.
Thompson. And there's a goal. Is it going to stand? There's no time showing on the clock, but they are signaling goal. Lyle Thompson from Johnny Powless as they score in the last 5 seconds with the goalie pulled. So as we watch this, the clock stands at 0. They're saying that the goal stands at this point.
Yeah, the ball just moves to the lefty shooter. Back to the center. Oh, Downing's caught too low. He ends up being a screen. It's an accurate shot right on the close side pipe.
Now, prior to our games, we had our opening ceremonies, which included a grand spectacle celebrating the history of the Haudenosaunee and the origins of lacrosse. Let's take a look at some of the highlights.
A white stone canoe carried the peacemaker, a man born to bring an end to all of the violence, and to unite the people as if members of one family, so fierce that snakes grew in his hair, and his body and limbs were twisted and ugly.
Evil mind of Tadadaho. Power of his mind to reason with people. He removed their anger and fear. He uplifted their spirit and gave them new instructions about how to make peace, to share one heart. Peace will blossom and continue for many generations to come.
Atop that tree was placed a golden eagle to watch for him.
From the sky world fell a woman, carrying the seeds of life from that world into this one.
Play lacrosse as it entertained him greatly.
What ni go ha eat then do the then do that no ha none to the no take don't go ni go ha now on the
home team in tonight's matchup. Please welcome the Iroquois Nationals.
We are truly honored that the Federation of International Lacrosse recognized us as a sovereign nation as we became the 5th member of the Federation in 1987.
I'm just appreciative to be here with you tonight. Thank you.
Let's get it on.
Wow, it was an amazing opening ceremony and a great start to the 2015 World Indoor Lacrosse Championship. We'll be right back with the exciting second half of the Iroquois Nationals versus Team USA. Welcome back to the On-Center War Memorial in Syracuse, New York. I'm Chuck Jaffe. I'm joined by Randy Frazier, head coach for the USA Junior National Team, former USA player and assistant coach as well. And we are here with what is one of the biggest games of the World Championships, because whoever loses this game basically is likely to have to play an extra game. If you win this game and you can sort of hold serve the rest of the way, even if you don't beat the Canadians, you're going to wind up in a situation where you're going to finish first or second and go straight through to the semifinals. So the extra game is one big deal. The other side, we had some other games here today. You had Israel beating Serbia 15-8, Turkey taking down Switzerland 12-6, Ireland beating Germany 10-7, and Australia topping Finland 7-6. Randy, from the emotional standpoint, Team USA has looked a little flat in this game, but because this is the first game and it's so important, how do you get some energy going, and how do you react if you wind up going, okay, we just played the first game and now we know there's a pretty good chance we're not getting that benefit of going straight to the semifinals?
Well, I mean, I think from the looks of it, Team USA is just really having trouble on the offensive end handling the ball. You know, we had talked about earlier today whether or not it would be a good thing or a bad thing for Team USA to play that extra game, and I thought no. But after watching that first half, I think this group needs to meld together and kind of get used to each other. And maybe you know, the bright side is if they do, you know, not win this game, they do get that extra quarterfinal game, that they'll have some more playing time together and be able to get some continuity on their offense. Right now, they're just not passing and catching. It's fundamentals. You know, Team Iroquois is just passing the ball crisply and sharply. They're catching everything, and USA is struggling with those fundamentals.
And as the tournament goes along, the USA will get one key reinforcement. Casey Powell, longtime star of the USA team.
Oh, yeah. I mean, also MVP of the last World Games.
Exactly. He will be playing for Team USA, but he had a commitment. It actually was the kind of commitment that is sort of what the World Games are all about in terms of developing and helping to grow the game, and could not be here for today's game.
So real important here, USA, not that they get the first goal, but they just come out sharper and try to get a run. The box lacrosse is a game of runs. If they can start to string together some goals, they can get right back in this game. And I like their chances in the fourth quarter. You know, their conditioning has got to be strong. And, you know, they're supposed to be the more athletic team, the better conditioned team, so that would be their chance to shine.
So Holman can't finish that feed from Kevin Buchanan, and the ball comes up with Josh Becker.
That was a great play. Nice pick and roll play, good inside look, and just Angus just came up with a huge save there, in tight, this glove hand slapping the ball out.
Miles Thompson has the ball, gives it to his brother Lyle. Ball loose on the floor in front. Lyle comes up with it. Lyle Thompson has an angle towards the net. Brian McGill cuts him off.
Lyle just has such soft hands. He's able to get that loose ball with somebody all over him. He's able to control the ball, keep it in his stick, and now they're on the 5-on-5 again.
That ball hits off of Henhock, so if Thompson can come up with it, it'll be a fresh 30. Waiting to see, the ball was tied up. The USA upset because they don't believe there should be a face-off.
There was a dangerous situation there. The turf started to come up, so they blew the play dead.
And under that circumstance, they have to go back and have a draw. So, Jeremy Thompson.
Got a lot of room behind him here. If he pulls this clamp back, he should be able to get the ball to his teammate.
Jeff Reynolds.
Oh, clean.
Jeremy wins that out to himself.
Clean pinch.
You know, the other thing about the Thompson brothers, not just spectacular offensive players and all the highlights and the NCAA records and more. The other side is they play phenomenal defense. They have been really all over the floor today. Stotts' shot is stopped by Henhock. Lyle Thompson comes up with the ball. Feeds that up. Shatler with it. Feeds it across. Stotts' shot wide, and Brian McGill brings the ball forward.
Well, Chuck, a big part of Lyle's game is his quickness, his agility. The guy can stop on a dime, change direction. He's really quick. Gets the defenders leaning one way, changes direction, and he's able to make just spectacular plays, both offensively and defensively.
Kevin Buchanan gets that over to Joe Walters. Now in front, Resiteris' shot is staved by Goodleaf.
Good ball movement there by Team USA. Again, Resiteris again drops his stick and shoots it low. You need to change planes there. If he needs to drop his stick, he needs to pull it up high and try to get it up over the goalie.
Is that sort of the case of, the difference of field lacrosse to box lacrosse? You'd rather see him keep the stick by his ears?
Yeah. I mean, you'll see the Team Iroquois is so fundamentally sound. They have the stick up on their shoulder, and 95% of their shots are going to come from that high angle, and you can shoot it high or low from that spot. It's just way more effective.
So Garrett Thule has the ball. I'm sorry, Joe Walters has the ball for the U.S., gives it over to Buchanan. 3 lefties and a penalty upcoming. There's a 6-on-5, so Henhock has gone to the bench. Man upcoming, Thule behind the cage. Resiteris feeds it across and broken up by Breyer Jonathan.
It's a good idea there. Thule threatened to dunk it. He looked like he kind of eyeballed like he was going to dunk the ball, drew a defender, kicked it out to the righty who snapped the ball across, looking for that side-to-side quick shot. Defense just got in the passing lane.
And Wenster Green goes to the box for the Iroquois. U.S. will wind up getting a man advantage.
They're sticking with the same group. Walters at the top, lefty strong. Buchanan on the lefty shooter, Reardon on the lefty crease.
And there's a goal, a garbage goal for Jeff Ratcliffe as it gets knocked around and winds up somehow trickling through Angus Goodleaf.
Yeah, Ratcliffe looked to skip it through. Defender got his stick on it.
And Ratcliffe just hacked it away from Sid Smith.
I think Sid Smith just kind of misplayed it. Unfortunate play. You know, it's
so you
big
go
goal
from
for
having,
USA.
you go from having a good play by Adam Bombury knocking down Ratcliffe's pass to, look what I found, a surprise power play goal for the U.S. makes the score 8-5 with 11 minutes left in the third period.
Jeremy Thompson starting to put on a clinic at the faceoff X there. Another clean win. Clean pinch right off to his teammate for a good.
Henhock gets that nice save against Johnny Paulus, and the U.S. comes up now looking to make it a 2-goal game.
Important for USA to start to string together some goals here and get a run going. This would be a big kind of game-changing moment if they can get a goal.
And Ratcliffe steps in the crease. Ball's passed ahead, Wenster Green. Gives it over to Craig Point. Randy Stotts with the ball. Drives down low. Point shot is wide. And again, Randy, we're playing without the visible 30-second clock. So you're getting an announcement of when 10 seconds are there. How much do you think that's also contributing? We've had a number of situations where it seems that teams are rushing a little bit as they hear that 10-second announcement.
Yeah, I think at this point in the game, the players start to develop a feel. And although it's nice to be able to look up and see that shot clock, you have kind of an internal clock and you have a feel for it.
Resetarits can't handle the feed, but gets the rebound back, gets the ball to Thule. Thule feeds it in front, and it's picked off.
Wow,
that's Josh Becker.
USA does a good job there cutting off the transition. Oh, that's because they snuck a guy on early, and there's a penalty situation now, so we're going to see the 6-on-5.
So we have the Iroquois getting out their extra attacker. They have 10 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Stotts with the ball, feeds it across, can't be handled by Shatler, goes to Henhock. We get our whistle, and now we're going to have the U.S. going to the box. So, too many men. A very costly, people should understand in box lacrosse, too many men, always a time-serving penalty. It's not one of those ones where you have, hey, it's a technical foul, give the ball to the other team. It doesn't work that way. Offensively or defensively, too many men is a time-serving penalty.
Well, it depends where you're playing, Chuck, because in the CLA, the offense is just a possession call. But in the National Lacrosse League, which is more of the rules we're playing here, it's a time foul.
Good point. So the Iroquois go back on the man up. They have done very well tonight with the man advantage, both man up and also in the 6-on-5 situation as they scored with 5 seconds, or with no time remaining in the first half.
Good job by USA there, getting in that passing lane and stopping that skip pass.
Chris O'Doherty gets the ball up to Joel White. Kevin Buchanan gets that shot off against Goodleaf. Ratcliffe gets the ball loose. And behind the action.
Yeah, getting physical down there. Looks like Kevin Buchanan got pile driven into the turf, and they didn't call it. And then Ratcliffe got tackled, and they called that one.
Ratcliffe is limping his way off. It's Brandon Goodwin going to the box, so that will negate the rest of the man advantage that the Iroquois had. They'll give that up at this point.
Great opportunity here for USA. Get back to within 2 goals. There's still plenty of time in this game.
So we'll play 4-on-4.
A lot of space on the floor. Definitely the offensive team's advantage here. We want to work a two-man game. Reardon with the pick.
Great stick there by Briar Jonathan. It's a slows things down. Looked for a moment like the Iroquois would have an advantage. Now it's Roger Weiss with the ball.
Real important here, defensively cover this two-man game.
As you look at Lyle and Miles Thompson working that two-man. Over to Miles Thompson now with the ball. Jake Henhawk makes the save. Lyle Thompson scoops it up and goes in the front. Great stop by Henhawk, robbing Lyle Thompson, and then he jumps on the loose ball as well. You know, goaltending was one of the big concerns for the U.S. It's one of the areas where they're not particularly experienced. But Henhawk's played a reasonably good game tonight. I mean,
yeah, as he's seen a lot of rubber, a lot of balls inside. He's keeping him at 8 goals right now, keeping it close.
So they call Greg Downing for being in the crease, and we've come to a break in the action. We're just under 7 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the third period. Your score here at On Center War Memorial Arena is the Iroquois Nationals 8, the United States 5. You're watching the 2015 World Indoor Lacrosse Championships on the Universal Sports Network. We're back, it's 4-on-4 action. Jake Henhawk with another nice save, this time robbing Randy Stotts. And the penalty's over. Garrett Thule gets that pass on a breakout, feeds it across, and Resiteris can't handle it. Sid Smith comes up with the loose ball. Almost that lucky break out of the box. So the U.S. now man up. And the Iroquois working to kill the clock. Miles Thompson gets that over. Ball hit Chris O'Doherty, and then he didn't know where it had gone to. Joel White comes out with it. And we've come to break in the action. I'm not sure if there's been a penalty called. I guess it does appear that we have a penalty called. We've lost the scoreboard here on the timing. So we've had issues with the 30-second shot clock. We got to a spot where the clock stopped. While they fix those issues, we'll take a break here. You're watching the 2015 World Indoor Lacrosse Championships on the Universal Sports Network. We're back here to live action. They seem to have fixed the clock problem. The U.S. with the man advantage and a great save there by Angus Goodleaf, robbing Blaze Reardon, staying down low. Any lift on that one at all, and it would have been in the back of the net.
That's good defense. I'd like to see USA come out and pressure the ball a little bit more instead of sitting back, packing it in.
We're back to even strength.
Transition opportunity.
Reynolds with that ball had given it over to Holman.
Backside.
Holman in front. And Joel White robbed by Angus Goodleaf.
Good
and
look.
then
That's a
pushed
high
into the net.
percentage shot there. Just a good save by Angus.
So White heads to the bench. U.S. gets a fresh 30, trying to cut the lead down to 2. Walters with the ball. And there's a goal. Joe Walters gets his second of the game, this time from the left-hand side of the floor, gets to the opposite pipe again. And that is a 2-goal lead now, 2-goal deficit for the U.S. as the score is Iroquois 8, USA 6.
Nice little two-man play with a down pick. Joe Walters comes over the top, shoots it off the screen.
And both of Walter's shots have been aiming for that far side. This time he was on the left-handed side. He's, of course, a left-handed player. And Costabile comes up with the ball. USA, if they can do it again, would cut the lead to 1.
That's a good play.
Ratcliffe and Sid Smith renew acquaintances. They've already tangoed a little bit tonight. Shatler with the ball.
It's more pressure defense. Stepping out on their guys, getting on their hands, not allowing them to pass the ball free will.
And there's a little too much offensive push on Craig Point. Gives the ball back to the U.S. And Randy, we're 5 minutes remaining in the third period. And it's not just that the U.S. has cut the deficit to 2. It's that the Iroquois have not scored this period.
Yeah, the Iroquois look flat. I mean, I think that they lost some of the urgency that they had earlier, especially offensively. And you know, we're seeing that 8 up there for a long time. So I'm sure the Kilgore brothers are all over their team right now to get some urgency back into their game and start to attack the goal.
Resiterit's shot wide. They're looking. That ball hit the post and came out and got stuck between Goodleaf's legs.
Yeah, that ball was rattling around there. Another good screenshot by Joe Walters.
Very easily could have made it a 1-goal game. So the Thompson brothers out. You've got Lyle and Miles, along with Randy Stotts on the right-hand side. Shatler and Roger Weiss are the lefties. Stotts feeds it to Shatler. Shatler shot wide. And shot clock expires, USA.
Now, one thing about the USA defense, these guys are all big, strong guys. It takes a lot of energy to play against them, and maybe we're seeing some signs of the Iroquois breaking down a little bit, and getting a little bit tired, and not being as sharp.
So there was a little too much from Garrett Thule, just as we had that at the other end from the other number 9, Craig Point, a few possessions ago.
Yeah, you hear the USA coaching staff yelling at the players to get up on the ball. Don't let them sit back and feed. There we go.
An errant pass there. Craig Point comes up with it. Brett Manny works him. Randy Stotts feeds it out. Lyle Thompson's shot redirected. It's going to stay in this direction.
That's going to be a reset of the 30 as well, so we'll see a full set here. USA's got to bear down, keep pressuring the ball.
So with a fresh shot clock and a tired defense, Shatler shoots it wide. Lyle Thompson comes up with the rebound, feeds it across. Johnny Paulus can't convert.
Yeah, well, maybe earlier in the game, those shots were right off the pipes and inside pipes, and now they're all missing the net.
Miles Thompson shoots it directly into Jake Henhock's stick. Henhock gets that nice outlet pass to Costabile. He's going to slow things down.
Smart decision by CJ there to pull the ball out, get his offensive players on the field.
And the lesson there really is he couldn't get to the front of the net. If you can't get to the front of the net, slow. Ratcliffe steps in the crease. The shot was denied by Goodleaf.
High percentage shot, though, right inside, right on the goal, right on the doorstep.
And Henhawk comes up with a big save to rob Tyler Garrison. That's one of the few times we've actually seen the Iroquois, other than Bomberry's goal in the first half, kind of play a little transition and push the transition, push the break.
Yeah. Suddenly a little bit of excitement in the building.
Joe Walters with the ball. Buchanan feeds it across.
Good side to side.
Resetarit's shot is swallowed up by Goodleaf.
USA definitely have a little bit of momentum right now.
And we're under 2 minutes in the third period. Randy Stotts with the ball, feeds it in front. Lyle Thompson can't handle. And Henhawk gets a piece of that. And then a great save to rob Lyle Thompson, who got the rebound. It'll stay Iroquois national ball. With fresh 30 seconds on the shot clock. Stotts gets it across. Henhawk again, this time stopping Roger Weiss.
What do we have there?
Looked like it was a crease violation. Player actually stepped into the crease with possession.
So these multiple resets, the defense starts to break down, get tired, see if Iroquois can convert.
Henhawk again, that winds up being a pretty easy save for him. Well, and that's the thing. The U.S. defense has really been triggering this, but they've been on the floor a lot.
Yeah, and it's really hard to play defense. You know, you don't know where your man's going. You're getting picked at all angles. You have to communicate. You know, we would like to see the offense really work the defense, because over the course of 4 quarters, if you work them hard enough, they start to break down more and more as the game goes on.
Thule stepped in the crease. So we've got about 45 seconds remaining in the period. Johnny Powless with the ball. Miles Thompson. And Joel White knocks that down. Shatler with the ball. Too much on the offensive pick there from Stotts.
Good step out. 2-on-1 is developing. Yep.
And there's a goal. Frank Resetaritz finishes his hat trick, closing out a feed from Joel White. And we have a 1-goal game with 15 seconds remaining in the third period.
Wow. Nice defense there. The high turnover often leads to transition. They get a man off the bench. Nice overhand shot to the far pipe, low.
And that's Resetaritz keeping his stick high, not doing what he had done on those couple that you said he had been stopped before.
Correct. Yes.
Holman comes up with the ball, gives it over to Downing, no time left. Downing looks to feed it out. Oh, off the post! Holman hits the post! Holman hits the post, or we would have entered the fourth period with a completely new ball game. But the USA holds the Haudenosaunee scoreless in the third period. So we go to the final period with the Iroquois leading the United States 8-7. You're watching the 2015 World Indoor Lacrosse Championships on the Universal Sports Network. Welcome back to the On-Center War Memorial Arena in Syracuse, New York. Chuck Jaffe with Randy Frazier, who's coach of the USA Junior National Team. We've got an 8-7 game, and Randy, just looking at 2 5-second stretches. Right before halftime, Iroquois Nationals score a goal basically as the clock expires with a play they run with 5 seconds left. And right there at the end of the third period, you had Marcus Holman hit the post. Right now, this game is razor thin in terms of the margin, and it looks like the momentum is all with the USA.
Yeah, I really like, USA made some adjustments at halftime defensively, and they're pressuring the ball a lot more, and they shut Team Iroquois down that half, and 0 goals in a quarter. That is a great accomplishment against this talented group. And the offense is starting to play sharper. They're getting inside looks and high percentage shots, and they're converting their shots. So, we got a game. It's anybody's game at this point.
And we should remind our audience that in the 3 previous World Championships that have been contested, the Canadians have won every game they've played and finished first, won the gold medal each time. The Iroquois have finished second, won the silver medal each time, and the U.S. has finished third. But whoever loses this game would basically be in line to finish pool play in third place. That means they're going to play a quarterfinal game. Whoever wins this game would likely advance straight to the semifinals. Joe Walter shoots over the top. Holman comes up with the rebound. Shoots that one as the clock expires, so it'll be Iroquois ball.
There was a situation there where that lack of the shot clock did hurt Team USA, because he didn't even know when the shot clock was going to go off. And if he had seen that shot clock, he would have pulled the trigger right away.
Lyle Thompson, and he scores. Lyle Thompson takes matters into his own hands, gets an angle to the front of the net, and he makes it back to a 2-goal lead.
See the replay here. The Team USA got a little over-aggressive top side, left the underneath space open. Thompson just takes underneath and finishes the ball smartly on the short side. And again, a real subtle shot, real subtle fake, quick fake, gets a goalie leaning one way and then puts it behind him.
An absolutely critical goal in terms of not only does it extend the lead, of course, but it got the crowd fired up. The crowd hadn't had really anything to cheer for, and the World Indoor Lacrosse Championships, the Haudenosaunee have been saying that they wanted, to do this. They were hosting this event to bring lacrosse home. This is definitely a home crowd for the Iroquois. And they had gotten quiet and maybe a little bit concerned. This will fire them up just a little bit more.
Yeah, I would say a little stunned. I mean, as good as the Iroquois looked in the first 2 quarters, how kind of flat they looked and lack of efficiency in the third.
So Resiteritz, who's already got a hat trick tonight. Reardon, who's got 1, shoots that one, and Goodleaf swallows it up. Randy, when you have a game that's been this back and forth, one of the things that could happen, obviously the Canadians, who have never lost a game in this tournament, are favored to win. If they win out, these teams would be favored to meet again in the semifinals. With the kind of game that we've had, with the back and forth, anybody have an edge in your opinion in a rematch? Things change dramatically in a rematch?
Well, I think the USA would be an underdog, regardless with the talent and the experience that the Team Iroquois has.
Ratcliffe stoned by Goodleaf. That was that good ball movement inside. Ratcliffe's been very effective getting to the front of the net tonight. Shatler gives it to Thompson, Lyle Thompson. Craig Point with the ball. Henhock makes that save on Lyle Thompson.
Oh, nice ground ball.
Great play, yes. A great ground ball by Jeff Reynolds.
Jeff's a really athletic player. Anticipated that ball coming off the boards nicely and was able to get it in his stick and get it out. That's good quick ball movement there.
Buchanan stuffed by Goodleaf, gets the rebound, fresh 30-second shot clock.
That's a good look. That's a really good look. Team USA needs to do more of that. Keep that ball hot. Don't let it die in your stick.
Joe Walter shot wide. Adam Bomberry picks it up.
Like the second quarter, in the fourth quarter, Team Iroquois' bench, their offensive door is very close to the USA's goal, and they're very efficient and effective coming off of that goal and attacking the goal quickly. They use their seals.
That's shot wide.
Yeah, so big advantage to them in the second and now the fourth quarter. You know, they struggled in the third. That's probably part of the reason why they're not able to work their off-the-bench plays. Ball needs to move.
Joe Walter's shot.
See, the problem with that shot is that the goalie's not moving. You know, it's from a good position on the floor. He's, you know, 5 yards in front of the net, decent angle, but the goalie's just, you know, waiting for that shot. He's in good position, and he's anticipating the shot.
And it was low to low. He didn't change anything else. You would normally recommend a shooter, if you're high, shoot it low. If you're low, shoot it high. Or at least try to change it up,
totally.
Right?
Joe Walters has a really good sidearm shot where he tries to bring it to the far pipe. But again, there's no change of planes on the shot. So that shot's most effective when it comes off of ball movement.
Henhawk has looked increasingly comfortable as this game has progressed. Marcus Holman with the ball.
Ball needs to move. Ball needs to move.
Joel White stayed out to play the offensive possession, which is not normally what he does. Joe Walter's shot. That's a nice save from Angus Goodleaf. The ball comes out to Briar Jonathan. So he starts to head to the bench. We're well into the 30-second shot clock as they get their offense out. Shatler comes over the top and scores. Jeff Shatler puts it over Jake Henhawk's shoulder just under the 10-minute mark. So we've got 9 minutes and 49 seconds remaining, and we're back to a 3-goal lead.
We had a down pick there. Shatler comes over the top. It's just a super accurate shot right in the corner. Overhand, tricky release. It's almost like the goalie doesn't have a chance on that shot.
Shatler seems to hide his stick well on his shots. In other words, it's tough. He's kind of got his body behind it. It looks like the ball sort of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. He also has kind of a tricky setup on his stick, and the ball kind of comes out a little bit differently than all the other players. The goalies kind of get tied up at times.
So the Iroquois back on the attack, feeling a little more comfortable about their lead. Stott's shot is high. Shatler gets the ball back. Here comes Brett Manny with the ball. So Marcus Holman feeds that one across.
That's the way you swing it.
Kevin Buchanan gets that out to Reardon. Reardon's shot swallowed up by Angus Goodleaf.
Good little pick and roll play there. Not the highest percentage of shots, but that's a good shot. Just needs to be a little more accurate in his placement of that shot.
Johnny Powles with the ball. Donnie Moss gets picked away. As I say, even if that ball had gone in, because you had Miles Thompson in the crease, I don't believe the goal would have counted.
What I like there, Johnny did, was he got right down the center of the defense, right to we call that the dirty area in front of the goal, and you know, that's where most of the goals are scored in this game.
Box across, we're dealing with goals that are significantly smaller than in field lacrosse, 4x4-9.
Yeah, we call that the dirty area because you definitely need to get dirty to get in there with the ball. You're going to get hammered. Defense is not going to let you in there easily.
So the Iroquois with the 3-goal lead, now almost to the midway point in the final period.
USA is starting to sit back defensively a little bit more. You're seeing...
And there's a goal. Randy Stotts finishes a feed from Jeff Shatler. And that may be the one that breaks the spirit of the U.S.
Yeah, it really is like night and day when USA sits back. The ball starts to move from side to side. And, you know,
so
Henhawk is moving from side to side. He's not quite set there, and he gives up a 5-hole shot.
And here we had said that, you know, the U.S. had a conditioning advantage, etc. But we also said in the third period that while the Iroquois weren't scoring, they were possessing the ball. And you talked about how tired the defense gets. Right now, truthfully, the USA defense looks tired. And another strip play, well done by Wenster Green, allows Adam Bomberry to come up with the ball.
Yeah, so USA is sitting back again. Maybe, you know, I think that you're right that they're maybe a little winded, a little tired. They're not feeling quite the confidence they were earlier in the game where they were able to step out and play their man one-on-one.
So we've come to a break in the action. The crowd fired up. The Iroquois have taken control again in this game, scoring the last 3 goals. Your score with just over 7 minutes remaining in regulation. The Iroquois 11, the USA 7. You're watching the 2015 World Indoor Lacrosse Championships on the Universal Sports Network. We're back at the On-Center War Memorial Arena in Syracuse. Your score, the Iroquois National 11, USA 7. Just over 7 minutes remaining. I'm Chuck Jaffe, joined by Randy Frazier. And Joe Reseterit's shot stopped by Goodleaf. And Randy, you know, we talk about the fact that these teams now have to go through the rest of this tournament. Both of them have Team Canada to come. Canada, a prohibitive favorite in this tournament. How do you feel the Iroquois stack up against Canada? How much will you be looking forward to that one?
Oh, that'll be a great game. It always is. I mean, one-goal games. Historically, over the years, these games have been right down to the very finish. Could have gone either way. Last World Games in the Czech Republic, it was one of the best box lacrosse games I've ever seen. It was unbelievable game.
Well, we should point out that, you know, in 2007, the Iroquois lost by a goal in overtime to the Canadians. The interesting thing is that the young guns on that team are the veterans on this team. They are the leaders now, and they certainly believe that it's doable. In talking to them, they clearly believe that the Canadians are not invincible.
Oh yeah, they definitely believe that. And talking to Bucktooth, and you know, I think he was, you know, one of the young guys you're talking about. And he's a true believer that this team is kind of destined, and this is their time.
Well, the other thing that's interesting, talking with some of the coaches for the Iroquois and the organizers for the Iroquois, because the games are here being played in the Onondaga Nation and in Syracuse at the Carrier Dome for the finals, etc., the interest and the level of participation was 3 times what it had ever been in a World Games setup before. So even though there wasn't the travel and the go see the world kind of thing, it was lacrosse is coming home and we want to defend it. So they believe that this is not just their best team, but that it is a team that is particularly ready to take this on. Now they're also missing one of their stars, Cody Jamieson.
Yeah.
Who, like Casey Powell, wore the number 22 at Syracuse. Cody Jamieson injured and out, actually helping as a coach.
Arguably one of the best player in the world right now, box lacrosse.
So the USA goes man up. Resitarit's shot goes wide, comes up in the stick of Briar Jonathan. He feeds that out. Brandon Goodwin, and he scores. Brandon Goodwin, the defender, runs the break. Finishes that feed from Briar Jonathan. And with Miles Thompson in the box, the Iroquois add a shorthanded goal. It's a 5-goal lead.
Yeah, these defenders can shoot it. Little look off and just pulls it down into the 5-hole. Deceptive shot. Goalie's, he has a look like he's going to go far side high, and he just pulls the string on it and pulls it between the goalie's legs.
You know, one of the other things that we've talked about, the Iroquois haven't run many breaks, but their breaks have been effective.
Yeah,
the USA have not run many breaks, and their breaks have not been effective. Is that just sometimes that's what happened on the day and time, or is that something that can be changed as this tournament progresses?
No, I mean, you're not going to reinvent the wheel. The USA defenders are just plain and simple not as good as shooters. You know, they just need more opportunities, and almost they need 2 shots for every Iroquois shot to kind of make up the difference.
Adam Bomberry with the ball. Iroquois got a fresh shot clock and could get another one if they're working to keep the ball away from Costabile, and they get it away from Costabile. And that conditioning edge that we talked about, you're not going to be, even if you're the better conditioned team, there's not as much you can do when you're spending this much time on defense.
Along the lines of what you were saying earlier, Chuck, about Team Iroquois, and I feel like there's some pressure on them for the first time, where other years are kind of a little carefree, but this time expectations are a little bit higher, and these guys are going to feel some pressure to win the gold medal, and it's something that they've never really experienced. I wonder how that's going to affect them.
Well, we will see going forward. I mean, what you've got is an Iroquois lineup that includes basically as many professional lacrosse players as the Canadians. But I don't know that the lineup, even with sort of 3 times the people coming out for the team and the things we were talking about just a moment ago, is necessarily as deep. The Canadians, that tryout process was reportedly brutal just to be on this team. So nice pickoff.
The last couple of World Games, the Canadian teams were some of the best teams ever to take the floor, and this year's group is by no means any worse than those teams. I mean, you're going to see Dan Dawson and Sean Evans and just a countless number of all-stars.
There's a goal from Lyle Thompson. And that's scored against David Mather. They pulled Henhawk with just about 3 minutes left, put David Mather in. He barely had time to set his feet, and Lyle Thompson on the doorstep. So Thompson picks up that loose ball, goes 5-hole with it. And it's that noise you hear may be the fat lady singing on this one. It's 13-7.
Yeah, I think that, USA looks like they're just kind of out of gas, and I think that little streak where they were kind of playing above themselves has led to a bit of a letdown. And it's leading us to talk about Team Canada. And one thing I didn't mention about Team Canada is the quality of their goaltending. They have Matt Vink and
some of the best goaltenders in the world. And there's a goal. U.S. breaks the long drought. It's Joel White sticking that one over Goodleaf's shoulder, but it's very late.
Great hands here, just kind of dangling. Uses defender as a screen and puts it right under the bar.
And we're just talking about the quality of the goaltending. The truth is that as good as the goaltending is, perfect shots beat great goaltenders. Not much
correct.
you can do when the shot is great.
I think you're correct there. You put the shot in the corner. 9 times out of 10, if you hit your spot, it's going to go in.
And there's Joe Walter scoring on a feed from Holman. So you make it now 13-9. 2 quick goals.
It's amazing what a fine line it is. It seems like the Iroquois kind of relax, and suddenly USA comes up with 2 goals. Another nice shot by Joe using a screen. Defender sitting back, uses him as a screen and puts it low to the far pipe.
Now, one of the questions we're going to have for the Iroquois going forward as they're coming out to tend to what appears to be equipment for Angus Goodleaf is what's going to happen with Mike Thompson, who started the game and then has been on the bench without his pads on since early on. So with this game being important, you wouldn't have expected that. We haven't gotten a report on an injury or anything else.
Yeah, it's definitely going to raise question, because over the course of this week, you're going to need all your goaltenders to carry the load. And then, if you're down to 2 goalies, it'll definitely be taxing, and we get down to the final games, it'll be difficult.
Well, and Mike Thompson, great story, him being back here. He was injured, blew out his knee in the final game, in the championship game 4 years ago. Has now recovered after surgery and is back. So Mather is running to the bench.
6 on 5.
USA will go with 6 on 5, trying to do anything they can to get back into it. Walter shot wide. There's a push from behind on Holman. Brandon Goodwin upset with the call. Holman behind the back. Resetarits stopped. Nice save. Getting that left leg all the way low along the ground.
This is a situation where time is more important than goal, so you're not going to see Team Iroquois push it to the net.
And you have a penalty anyway on the USA. So Goodleaf heads to the bench. But it's a too many men call. So with 1:11 left, the US will have another too many men call. I believe that is the 3rd of the game for too many men on the US. And that's going to allow the Iroquois to finish this one out. Now, knowing that you've got to play the USA again with a minute left, do you show anything? Do you do anything, or you just say, let's kill the clock?
You kill clock. Oh, we're going to see a penalty shot here. Too many men. Penalty
under
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
So you're going to see a penalty shot.
So here's Lyle Thompson coming in one-on-one with Mather. That's a great save. That's an unbelievable save by Mather.
Wow. I would want to see the replay
Half
on that,
of his
because
stick
that ball
was
looked like
in the
it was
net.
in the net. He was completely deked out. And it
Welcome.
almost looked like his stick was in the net.
Welcome to the World Games, David Mather, who had Lyle Thompson get a rebound directly in front.
Did you see the look on Lyle's face? He was surprised that he even made that save. He was kind of like, are you kidding me?
So we're coming back to a draw. So let's see if we can watch this one more time. Ball comes up to the Iroquois. Wenster Green can't corral it until the U.S. is there to cover. We're under a minute remaining in regulation.
Probably won't see any more shots. They'll probably just burn the shot clock and then dump it in the corner. It's a situation here where you don't want to give USA any motivation for the next game, and they're going to show good sportsmanship here and just.
So the U.S. gets the ball with 32 seconds left. Mather now has a run to the bench as they get their sixth attacker on. Resetarits shot covered by Goodleaf, heaved down to the corner. Garrett Thule will pick it up. See if the U.S. can try to get one more shot. Nope, not going to go into the corner. And that is going to do it. So we have come to the end of regulation. And in one of the most important games of this tournament, the Iroquois Nationals are now set up where they should be able to get directly to the semifinals, while the USA has a tougher road to hoe. It's going to include, most likely, a game in the quarterfinals. So our final score here at the On-Center War Memorial is the Iroquois Nationals 13, Team USA 9. You're watching the 2015 World Indoor Lacrosse Championships on the Universal Sports Network.